And good morning. It is 8:07 now on News Talk 1079. Welcome on this Monday. It is, of course, halfway through the runoff election season. Did you ever think we'd be saying that, at least for both cities? Is that crazy? We have that going on. We also have some national stuff going on. It's good to see the government back open for the workers and for their paychecks. But there is talk, by the way, from President Trump about the end of Obamacare, which he says that he is chatting with some Democrats. And the basic premise of this is, why are we writing out big subsidy checks to insurance companies? Why don't we put that money in the pockets of Americans and then they shop for their own insurance and make the insurance companies have to be more competitive? And I'm like, yeah, that sort of makes a lot of sense compared to what we have right now. It's still not like my ideal scenario, but it's certainly better than what we're seeing now. So we have that happening, and we'll get to some of that audio. We also, I'm not following. I'm going to be honest with you, because I only have so much bandwidth, and my life is very busy. Outside of politics and outside of work, life is incredibly busy. So if I look into the realm of politics and I see fluff or unnecessary garbage, I kind of tune it out. So I don't keep track of the latest feud, the latest soap opera, the latest back and forth that's happening. So I have nothing really exciting to add to the whole Donald Trump, Marjorie Taylor Greene drama. Not even quite sure what they're feuding about. But I know you have this. I know there's the angle on the Epstein files. And again, there's one basic point here that the poor Democrats just cannot escape. And that is, if there was anything truly damning inside the Epstein files, there's a lot of innuendo and insinuation and exaggeration of different emails. But if there was anything in the Epstein files that was truly damning and inculpatory of Donald Trump, it would have come out years ago. So I think it was Babylon Bee that did a funny headline, and they say shocking email shows that pedophile didn't like Donald Trump, which was very funny. So you have that. And by the way, all of this chatter. I do have to add this. Kudos to my Bengals. What an amazing, fun, and fantastic win over the much-hated Weber State Wildcats. It was fun to beat them 31-3. We had a chance in the closing seconds. Maybe we could have scored another touchdown, but Coach Hawkins, who is a lot more, I guess, civil than I am, he had the team take a knee. And I would have been like, hey, if you can always rack up one more touchdown against Weber State, you do it. But I'm not gonna second guess here. I get it. And he's building a good program there. So very excited about that. And also the road trip this next Saturday against the Idaho Vandals, the in-state rival. And I think this is a very winnable game for the Idaho State Bengals, which would be a great end to their season to be 5-3 in the Big Sky. So that was a fun, exciting detail over the weekend. Also, state football. Go Rigby, we're behind you. Go Hillcrest, we're behind you. Go Ryrie, we're behind you. And Cary. Although I have to ask, is Cary East Idaho or Central Idaho? I feel like it's right there on the edge. Like, we'll claim you, but you better come home with a trophy this next weekend. How about that? We'll make it conditional. So it'll be a fun weekend coming up. And all of this is me avoiding talking about one of the bigger issues that's going on. When I look at East Idaho, like I've been trying to absorb the whole picture. I try to see things from 30,000 feet, which helps you explain what's going on from 3 feet. If you can understand 30,000 feet, you understand better 3 feet. And when you look at the entire region, that 13 cities in East Idaho will have new mayors come January, something is in the air. And you look at how quickly our world is changing. Now, part of it is the speed of Donald Trump. Donald Trump basically came along and said, you can have nice things. You can get things done. You can accomplish. If you don't like your situation, you can change it. Now, I think in some cases what that means is that you have incumbent mayors who have less of an advantage because they're incumbents. Doesn't mean they don't have an advantage. But when you see the mass turnover, this will be remembered. If I don't know if anybody's keeping East Idaho's history, but this will be remembered as a pretty historic election. When you look at all of the turnover, we're going to have some new directions, new faces, new focus going on. And as I'm watching the Idaho Falls mayoral race unfold, you have that 30,000-foot dynamic where it's not exclusive to Idaho Falls. The dynamics are more about the overall political environment that we find ourselves in. I think nationally even, possibly even globally, but certainly nationally, we're in a transition and a time of more acceptance of change. And I think that affects the mood of the people regionally and then locally in the individual cities. And I don't, when you look at a candidate like Jeff Alldridge, who is, I wouldn't say he's a political unknown anymore, but 3-4 months ago, he was a political unknown. Nobody knew him. And he had moved here a few years back and decided he wanted to run for mayor, and ran a successful business here and led teams of people, but he decided he wanted to run for mayor. That's an uphill climb, no matter how you look at it, and running against Lisa Burtenshaw. And I could reenact some of the conversations that Julie and I had off the air, but now on the air. And we would say it's going to be Lisa. Like she's the quasi-incumbent because she's on the council. She's inheriting the incumbent's political machinery, getting the same endorsements so she's running not as an incumbent, obviously, but I think with some of the perks of being an incumbent. And here's Jeff Alldridge, political unknown. It's just you do the math. It doesn't, in 99% of the situations, the incumbent or quasi-incumbent, the coronated candidate is going to win those races. But a few things are different now. And I think the winds of change that I just talked about is different. People are like, you know what? We are not satisfied fully with the way things are going, and we want to change it. So that was one tick mark against Lisa. I think that Jeff Alldridge put together a very focused, a very organized campaign, very disciplined. He's got his messaging very crisp. That was another tick against the Lisa Burtenshaw. And so we didn't really have a horse in the race. Like we're watching, we're like, however it turns out, it looks like these people are both good people, decent people, capable people. And when you have that, I don't say this with any disrespect, okay? And I'm probably going to catch a little flack for saying this. But I don't think that running a medium small city, I mean, we're not 5,000 people, but we're not 500,000 people. But I think running a city this size is not rocket science. Like, I don't think you need someone that has an IQ of 200 to be able to run a city. I think if you have someone who's got a few skills in their skill set, they could be a decent mayor. Both of these candidates, Lisa and Jeff, clearly above that minimum threshold bar. They're both smart. They're both organized. They're both competent individuals. And so we watched this unfold. But as time went on and we saw the dynamics shifting, and there was an unusual energy around Jeff Alldridge's campaign, we got close to Election Day and we said, this might actually be a little closer than we think. This might be a race. This might be a race. And indeed it was. And you had the newcomer getting more votes by a few dozen than the quasi-incumbent. And neither reaching 50%, therefore we have ourselves a runoff election. They both got around 47. And as we now look to December 2nd, there's that tight time window. You have 1 month to go. And I never understood. I always thought, well, people think like me. You've got, there are shades of preference difference here. Like everyone would look at the two and go, I think I prefer this candidate, so I'll vote for him. And there are some people, I think they look at politics like it's always do or die. It's always a choice between, the devil and God. It's always good versus evil. And I don't think that way. Like I look at it and I'm like, okay, what's the worst that is going to happen if the candidate I don't prefer gets in? And I'm like, well, are they capable? Yeah. Will I get everything I want? No. But will they do okay? Probably. Like, that's how I look at it. But I actually think especially in the environment of social media, that gets out of balance very quickly. And very quickly, we decide someone is the devil and someone is the savior. And we message with the stakes being that high in our minds. That's what I'm tired of. I'll be honest with you, I'm tired of it. But I will talk about some of the dynamics that I think that are really important. As you probably saw in the last few days, Lisa Burtenshaw received the endorsements of Mike Simpson, congressman, Brad Little, governor, and I thought, this is very unusual. This is very unusual. You don't see governors wading into endorsing mayoral candidates very often. I'm sure it's happened before. I'm not saying it's unprecedented. I'm saying it's unusual. And you have to ask yourself, why? And why did they not make an endorsement prior to the November election? Why in the runoff? Now, and look, I'm candid. I mean no disrespect or harm against anyone. And I don't. I really don't. But there's a shift. There is a shift in Lisa's campaign. She is a very nice person. And we've always appreciated that when she's come in. Very civil, very cordial, and very nice. And that's a temperament that I think would serve her well, largely, as a mayor. But I am telling you, there are surrogates that are vicious in this campaign. And we actually had this discussion with Greg Cates earlier, talking about the candidates themselves versus their surrogates. And maybe they can't control it. Or maybe they can't. I don't know. But when you see, and I guess I'll name names. There's nothing slanderous here. But now you're seeing on social media the presence of Steve Taggart, who's a local attorney, a politico. He was very much a Casper loyalist. And now he is everywhere on social media, fighting every possible battle he can find. I'm like, this was not here a month ago. So they've called in some reinforcements here. For a short time, I was seeing some things from Greg Graff. He's the political potatoes guy. He usually consumes himself with statewide politics, but he jumped into this race, and he is a paid political guy. I guess my question is, are these guys being paid? I think that's probably an important question to have, and I guess when the Sunshine Reports come out, we'll see if and how much they are getting paid. This is what I fear for Lisa and her prospects, that You've brought in now this bulldog or pit bull, whatever you want to call it. And that's what he should do. It's what he was for Rebecca Casper. And now it's the same playbook. It's go after everything and everybody affiliated with the opponent. One of the latest posts was trying to tie Jeff Alldridge to Dorothy Moon and Doyle Beck and Brian Smith and all of that. I'm like, okay, that's interesting, because if you go over to the Drinking Liberally page, whatever that's called, Idaho Falls' far left candidates are all in for Lisa. So turnabout absolutely could be fair play here. If you want to go down that road where you take in your mind the least desirable supporters, but I don't know if they want to play that game. I don't think they do. They want to play it, but they don't want the other side to play it. So that's been fascinating to see that development happen. But I think the optics could backfire here. And I will tell you why I think it could backfire. Because a gubernatorial or a governor's endorsement and a congressman's endorsement in a local mayoral's race is unorthodox, people have this underlying, why is this happening? And quite honestly, I think in an effort to lend their support to Lisa Burtenshaw, they're making her look weak, because people on a subconscious level are asking, why does she need this much help? Why are they calling in this much firepower? And I think there's a natural, going back to the original point where people want change, there's much more skepticism now on incumbents than there used to be. And I think they're saying this is odd that there would be this much firepower. I'll use that term to bring that out. And it's a fascinating thing. I saw the Simpson endorsement. I thought, wow, okay, that's interesting. I think you can call it that one was, I think somebody called in a favor. Like, there's not a lot of hops from Lisa's campaign people and Simpson. I don't know if that's true of the governor, but the fact that the governor then as well endorsed, I think that's me going, okay, there is internal panic going on and favors are being called in, because I don't think you have governors and Congress members proactively reaching out saying, hey, I want to endorse in this mayoral race. So I don't really know the origin of it. I don't even really care. But it sure does make the dynamics and the optics of this race quite interesting. I'm sure it's probably pretty intimidating for Jeff Alldridge, but I see that he's just out there pushing forward with his campaign, and it certainly ups the visibility of the campaign as well, and it gets people going, oh, wow, I'm paying attention now. We're going to take a break. It's 8:27 on News Talk 107.9 on this Monday morning, getting the work week started off. How do you not play the air drums? And I don't even know how to play the drums. But, here we are. We're back. You could play the air synthesizer, too, though.
You could. It could.
And nothing gets me down. All right, we're back. 208-542-1079. So,
how you doing?
I'm good. The Weber State Wildcats are defeated. Bengals keep the train trophy or the train
Love
bell.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got 3.5 East Idaho teams in the state championships this coming.
I am excited for those teams. I am excited for anything that can be different from just politics and mudslinging. So,
yeah,
hopefully those kids just to get to go out and play. That's what I hope.
Yes, yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
So, okay, Julia, I've said a lot. I said a lot during the monologue, which I know you were listening to.
I was actually.
You probably have some thoughts you want to share about the the mayoral race.
I actually agree with you on some things.
Some things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciated this race clear up till about 2 weeks before the actual November election. I feel there was a shift with the religion question that anybody who's listened to this program knows I had a serious problem with that.
Yeah.
There was no basis for that question. So I had a problem with it. But I think that was somehow a tidal shift. I don't know what happened. It opened the floodgates. It gave everyone the ability to just go and do whatever they wanted to do. But at that point, we shifted from two good candidates who were fighting really hard and running great campaigns, both of them doing what we ask of candidates to do, to all of a sudden a whole bunch of surrogates acting like a fool on the internet.
Yeah.
And what a shame for Idaho Falls.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I'm not a wag my finger gal. You know I'm not. I don't do that
No.
at people. I let them do whatever they want to do. But what a shame for Idaho Falls. And I would just gently hope that the people who continue to do it maybe rethink who they are as people. Like, that's not what Idaho Falls deserved, because we were getting what we deserved.
Yeah.
We were getting two good candidates who were doing great jobs at running candidacies.
Pretty civil approaches for both of them. Yeah.
So I'm frustrated.
Here's what I think has happened, and certainly it's inadvertent, but I believe there's an underdog factor in this race now that the Burtenshaw campaign is creating for Jeff. Mm-hmm. Like, even if people like the governor, even if they like Mike Simpson.
I like the governor.
I do too. I don't agree with him on everything.
No, I don't.
But I like him, and but I think people are like, and I think people like Frank Vandersloot too.
You bet.
But I think when you have that much political power, that much money, that much influence, and they're piling on the guy that got the most votes, people are like, okay, this guy's an underdog. He's out there fighting his guts out to work hard and to win the campaign. And I think people really respect that. And so they've created this establishment, traditional power dynamic versus Mr. Smith goes to Washington.
Right.
And I think that they are inadvertently and unintentionally creating a lot of sympathy and support for Jeff Alldridge that he would not be getting if they weren't piling on every single resource that they can call in to try to get Lisa Burtenshaw over the finish line.
Do you also feel, and maybe I'm misinterpreting it, so I would love to have the listeners weigh in via the text line, whatever, 208-542-1079. Does it feel to you like since that shift, Jeff has continued to run a campaign that what his campaign people are saying matches what you're hearing from him?
Yeah.
But the shift happened with Lisa's campaign, where Lisa kept running the same campaign, but all the surrogates started doing something different.
Yeah.
And they're not aligned anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not misinterpreting that.
No, I don't think you are.
Yeah, because I feel like Lisa's still doing the Lisa that we know.
Right.
I feel like she's doing what she was intending to do. But all of a sudden, there's this sub-campaign going on, and it doesn't match what Lisa's putting out there, but they're doing this other campaign in the shadow. Well, they're not. It's not even in the shadows. That's not even fair. It's like blatant. It's got a spotlight on it.
Right. Yeah.
But they don't match.
No, they don't match. And it's weird. I think they're out of sync.
Right.
Like
yes.
And people are like, well, what is that campaign about?
Yes.
So.
That's I'm probably the biggest difference for me is that these people have emerged that have decided to be the army behind, and it just doesn't seem to align with what was happening and is still currently happening from Lisa.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think sometimes you'll see that it's fairly typical for candidates to stay civil. Like, they're not the ones saying the harsh stuff.
Right.
But there are surrogates that they're doing nothing about that are lashing
hammering out.
And they are. And it's very, and especially on social media, it gets real toxic real quick.
Matter of seconds.
And I'm sure you would find it on Jeff's side. But I will tell you, and I've talked to people, like I will be honest, I don't spend a lot of time reading all the comments on social media, who does what. Sometimes things float to the top. They're floaters. Anyway, but I will say, what I'm hearing is that much of the toxicity is coming from Lisa's surrogates and not so much Jeff's.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying harsh things,
yeah,
but it's
absolutely.
like, we don't want this. It's about policy. It's about philosophy. It's about that. But it's pretty nasty. It's pretty nasty.
I think one of the most, if I was to analyze what I feel like some of the nasty stuff is, anybody who's actually gone online and disparaged Jeff Alldridge because his job and his business isn't as important as other things that have been done.
Yeah.
Oh, get over yourself. Really?
Yeah.
Really, really. A man who has done exactly what we ask men to do. Take care of a family, earn a good living, pay his taxes. Somehow that's not good enough for you people. Like, that was gross. So I think that that's one of the worst things they've said about him, because quite honestly, some of those people saying that stuff have done nothing else with their life either.
Yeah.
Yet all of a sudden they can analyze a man's life and decide whether or not he has value or not. I think that's disgusting. Second off, when other people have completely identified Lisa Burtenshaw as Rebecca Casper 2.0, I don't see that. I think that that's an unfair criticism of her, and it shouldn't have been done. I also think that it's unfortunate that a bunch of, I'm going to go a little bit feminist here.
Yeah.
But why are all these men speaking for Lisa?
It's a great question.
I'm not a feminist, but I think she has a ton of value. Let her talk.
Yeah.
Like, step away. You're asking her to be the leader. Let her talk.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to address this issue with the whole Rebecca Casper 2.0, because I don't think Mayor Casper's been a disaster of a mayor. Mm-hmm. She has a different philosophy than I do, but Idaho Falls has done fairly well.
We have a great city.
We do. But I also believe we aren't a great city because of leaders. We're a great city because of the people here. And I think that the more you can get out of the way of the people, the more your city is going to thrive. And it was Ronald Reagan's philosophy. It was, you know what? People know how to succeed in their own life. Just get out of their way. Don't make it hard. Don't make it harsh. There were clearly things I would have changed over the last 12 years that we've had Mayor Casper. But by the same token, I don't think there's been corruption. I don't think there's been, all the words that get tossed around. It's just I have a different philosophy. I agree with you. I don't think that Lisa Burtenshaw would be Casper 2.0, even though you see that online. But I also think, and this is a tough position for her, she needs to be more proactive in creating that contrast. But she's in a tough spot because she's getting pretty much the same endorsement list that Casper got. She's clearly inheriting kind of the political campaign structure. Steve Taggart was Casper's bulldog. Now he's become Lisa Burtenshaw's bulldog. I think she needs to do more to prove she's not Casper 2.0, because it sure looks like she's inherited all things Casper at this point. She needs to create more daylight there. And I don't know if she doesn't want to hurt someone. She's a very nice person. I think she's like, I don't want to hurt my friend Rebecca's feelings here, even though I would do things differently. I really think that's been a part of her problem, is that there's a lot of people that are suspicious. It's just going to be a continuation of this government that, based on polling, people have been kind of dissatisfied with.
Mm-hmm. I think you could do it, though. I really do think you could do it. We've interviewed Lisa. We know her outside of the political atmosphere. I think she could look at Mayor Casper and say, I appreciate everything you've done. And it has been a great opportunity for me to learn on the city council and to be mentored by you. but I am going to do things different, and I'm going to start to talk about those things.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think that could be a very civil conversation. It could go fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too.
And that's what I'd like the race to finish out that way. I'd like everybody to stop speaking for Lisa and for Lisa to be the one to speak, because that's who you're asking to run the city.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and is there a gender dynamic here? Because you have the endorsement from Mike Simpson, who's a man. We have the endorsement from Brad Little, who's a man. Now her most vocal campaign surrogates, men, Greg Graff and Steve Taggart. Like, is there... I mean, we don't have a female governor or, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's not an equivalent there. So that is just going to naturally happen in certain ways. But I would agree with you. I almost feel like there is kind of that gender imbalance dynamic. And I don't want that. I don't want her to look weak because of that. But I fear that people are subconsciously going, why does she need all of this help from powerful men?
Maybe they are. What it bothers me is I know that she has the capability to do it without them. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I want to see. Yeah. That's the part I want to see. And I worry that these people are foisting their Yeah. Now I'm back to is what Lisa's asking matching what her surrogates are doing? Yeah. Or are they as disjointed as what it seems to me? Because I think that she is very well qualified for the job. Let her speak.
Yeah. I think she's capable as well. There is one functional problem, too, with the campaign messaging. They're basically arguing, and one thing, because I got Jeff's brochure on my doorstep the other day.
Okay. For
the runoff election. And it's very crisp. It's very, his by the way, his campaign's very well done. But he lists, there was one point of satisfaction, but then there were a whole bunch of points of dissatisfaction that people have. Things like transparency, transportation, how hard is it to work with the city, all of those things. And the messaging that I'm seeing around Lisa's campaign in the defense of Imagine IF, which is the city's comprehensive plan, is basically telling you, I don't care about your dissatisfaction. We are doing it the right way, and we're going to continue doing it this way. And I'm like, that's not going to win you votes. Mm-hmm. Like, you might defend your position, but if you don't address the dissatisfaction that voters have, you're not going to win their vote. You can't just tell them, you don't understand the situation. We have to have this high-density housing. So your dissatisfaction is unjustified. That's not an effective strategy. It might be true, but it's not an effective campaign strategy.
Yeah, whether intended or not. You and I were blown away that this became the major issue in the campaign.
Yes.
It's not what we saw happening. So people are obviously bothered by the high density housing. The response to that, by saying, well, you don't know, and every decision we've made up to this point has been right.
Yeah.
That's not a way to handle something that was a major concern to everybody.
No.
That just makes no sense. Now, I think there's going to be people like us that weren't as concerned about the high density housing.
Yeah.
But if that has been what people are most asking questions about, I think you have to rethink the way that you're answering the questions if you want to get their votes.
Yeah, I do too. Because so far they haven't addressed the dissatisfaction. They've just tried to convince them there's no basis to your dissatisfaction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and you know what? They might be right. There may not be a better way around the high density housing, but why not try? Like, what,
yeah, why not have the conversation with the people that you're asking the vote from?
Yes.
That's the point. Also, I think that the city in general, and by extension, Lisa Burtenshaw, had the opportunity, and maybe they feel like they've messaged this and we just haven't seen it, but had the opportunity to go, we hit it out of the ballpark with this project and this project and this project. These other 3 projects, we got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
I wish we would have done something different. I think people appreciate when you recognize we planned for this, we miscalculated, we're going to shift. But these other ones, they were exactly what we had hoped for, and this is our gold standard right here. When you have an honest conversation with people like that, and admit when things went really well, and admit when we wish we would have tweaked with this one a little bit differently, I think people find respect in that.
I saw one particular post, Julie, that was trying to say it was the language of bigotry. Like it was, you are denigrating renters when you don't like high density housing. That was the insinuation of this, and I'm like, wait a minute. If you went and talked to people in high density housing, they might say, I don't like high density housing. You're not going after people. You're going after a situation that creates some challenges. Sometimes it creates crime challenges. Sometimes it creates congestion challenges. Sometimes it can create services challenges. You're not hating on the people. You're just saying, hey, maybe we shouldn't cram in, 2,000 people in this apartment complex right next to this high property value neighborhood. Mm-hmm. You're creating a quality of life issue for them. That's not you being a bigot. That's not you denigrating anyone. That's you just saying we might be able to work it out a little bit better so that it's less of a problem for everyone involved.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Hey, it's Brad from Now 105.1 and QP99. I'm in the studio here. I love our studios, by the way. Ranger Rick back there. There's Neil and Julie doing their thing. Hey, when you want to advertise on the radio, what do? You call the radio station, right? But what do you do when you want to advertise on Facebook and Instagram and Hulu and Disney Plus and Peacock and the other TV streaming services? You can kind of click around on them and make guesses or read books or take courses online on how to do that advertising. Or you could call us at the radio station. At Sandhill Media, we take care of your local radio and digital marketing. So reach out to us at sandhillmediagroup.com and we'll make sure that your message gets heard and seen wherever your customers are.
So the example, when you and I talked about this off air, the example that I gave to you is if I was opening a business in LA, do you think I'd find the vacated property in Compton and go, that's where I'm putting my business. This is going to be great for me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make decisions based upon what is going to be most beneficial for my business choices. Why is that a bad thing? And when you're looking at what's going to be most beneficial for raising your children, if you want less crime and less congestion and less people speeding down your street, I'm not going to feel bad about that.
Yeah. You
don't
shouldn't.
tell me I'm a bigot because I don't want people speeding down my street.
Yeah.
Like, that's unrealistic.
Yeah, it is. Or you don't want traffic backed up 3/4 of a mile either. There's just lots of things. You're not mad at any particular person. You're not denigrating any particular person. You're just saying this might not be the best situation.
I've got a daughter who lives in high density housing on a medical campus in Arizona. Yeah. They're trying to improve their life so that they can eventually own a home and protect their property rights when they own that home. It's all steps in life.
Yeah.
Did you live in an apartment?
Yes.
I lived in an apartment. There are steps in life. And I am not a bad person when I have gone through the steps in life when I want to create a safe space around my family.
I was in a fourplex.
Yeah.
Don't judge me. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, we have a new troll. So there we go.
Yeah, it's fine. Look, I am going to tell you, we're going to tell you what our opinion is. All right? We're I don't know. Do we even address this?
I don't know, because this person's never going to be happy. Look, I don't know what this person wants from me. I said this campaign was on track to be one of the best until we had a pivot 2 weeks before.
Right. I agree with you.
So I didn't do it. You didn't create the pivot.
No, we didn't.
I didn't create the pivot.
Yeah. I mean, it's sort of like if you're watching a basketball game and one team steps out of bounds or travels or commits a foul. You don't have to go, well, I got to find something negative. That other team, he has a guy with his shoes unlaced. Like, we're looking at it and we're saying, okay, this was a foul. This was an out of bounds. This was a travel. This was a turnover. Like, this is how we're calling it. And right now, I'll be honest with you, I think the Burtenshaw team is creating more stumbles than the Alldridge team is. All right? It's not us choosing one side over the other. We like both of these people. We think they're both capable. But if you're going to talk about the campaign and how they're unfolding, we're not going to pretend they're both doing equally terrible or equally well. Right? That's not being biased. We're here to say we think this is a problem. I'll be honest with you. We've interviewed many of these people. Congressman Simpson, Governor Little, regularly. Frank Vandersloot, we've interviewed multiple times. We like them, but I think it's a mistake to put that much political firepower up against one dude who was a political unknown 6 months ago. You are creating an underdog dynamic that you may not be able to recover from in 2 weeks and 1 day.
It's a David and Goliath.
It absolutely is.
And either way can work. Lisa might win. Because lots of times, guess what? Goliath wins.
Yeah.
So it might work. I don't know what this person who's texting in wants. You don't want us to analyze the race?
Yeah, like, what is your expectation of us? Here's what they wrote. Your bias is showing. The mudslinging of Casper 2.0 from Jeff's surrogates got a casual slap on the wrist from Julie and passive-aggressive feedback from Neil. While showing who supports Jeff gets an aggressive monologue from both of you, make it make sense.
I don't know what was casual about me saying that she is not Casper 2.0.
I don't either.
And I don't know what is casual about me saying that this woman can run her own campaign. Then if her surrogates would step out of the way, I think she has a lot to offer. I don't know what's casual about that.
I don't either. I will say, I think this is the problem when we're here as the media to serve a purpose. And it's part of that purpose. It's a lot, we are opinion media. Okay, we're not, we don't pretend that we have no bias. Julie and I have opinions. We share them on the regular. And there are certain situations where we set those aside. We don't hide them, but we set them aside. If there was a massive earthquake today, we put all our politics aside and we talk about what roads are open and where you can get emergency services and that sort of thing. That's when we go into unbiased mode. But politically, our biases, we wear that on our sleeve quite a bit. And we are being very honest when we tell you either Jeff or Lisa could serve as Idaho Falls mayor. We like them both. We've interviewed them both. I sure wish Lisa would come in so that we could talk to her. She will reach a massive audience here. I dare say probably the biggest voting radio audience in Idaho Falls. It's an opportunity for any candidate to come in who's asking for people's votes. We've had struggles this way. All right. We found out less than an hour before a scheduled debate that Lisa was not going to make it. She was good to come in the next morning, and we did have a debate at that point. She's now opting not to do an interview with us. And she did do an interview with a competitor who has a far smaller audience. That creates a problem for us. All right. So it's not that we take it personally, but we feel like we owe it to our audience to give them the opportunity to make a fully informed decision. And that's why it is frustrating when you have people who are seeking political power, pretty significant political power, but they evade the opportunity to talk to their future constituents. That, to me, is a weakness. And it shows a level, I don't want to say cowardice, that's a little too harsh. And it's very possible she's willing, but she's got campaign people and surrogates telling her, don't do it, don't do it. we're going to be kind to her. We're going to ask her some questions. They may be hard questions, but we would love for her to come in and answer our questions. That's been another problem about this is we're here, she's there, she's running for office. This is an opportunity to reach far more future constituents than probably she's going to reach in any other half an hour or 45-minute interview. Mm-hmm. So it just makes sense for her to come in and do that.
Yeah.
But again, it's not a personal thing. I don't take it personally if somebody doesn't want to come in and do an interview. But when they're seeking that much political power, and it's our job to scrutinize the people that are seeking that power, well, yeah, we're going to tell you about it, and we're going to give our honest opinions about it.
Oh, and it's not just exclusive to this race. I was incredibly harsh with Brian Plaid. Again, somebody I like.
Well, yes, we were brutal with Doyle Beck and Brian Smith. And
yes.
I mean, we tell you exactly what's on our minds.
So this is not just exclusive to this race. And whatever, call it a casual slap on the wrist, or I have been more than vocal about the people on the internet making fools of themselves from both sides. Yeah. So you can formulate your own, you can call me biased, whatever. I think you need to look in the mirror.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed. Okay. Oh, my word. Look at the time.
We talked way too long.
All right. The hour's up. We'll talk to you. All right. Welcome back. 9:07 on News Talk 1079. It's hour 2. If you'd like to reach the program, 208-542-1079. And we'd love to have you if you want to weigh in on this. If there are national stories you want to talk about, we definitely have national things that we could discuss. But right now, Julie, you know what we didn't do that we need to do? Go over and grab a box full of Grand Peaks Prime Meats cuts.
So overdue.
Yeah, it really is overdue.
Yeah.
I think we're pretty much out. There might be some patties or something, but I need more than I love their patties, but I need more than patties.
More than patties. I need another roast. I also need some French dip. And I don't know why I haven't learned my lesson yet, but when we do these orders, I need to do like 5 or 6 fajita meals, not 2.
I know.
What is my problem? I don't know why I go that direction.
I will remind you because I love fajitas.
Mm-hmm.
I love fajitas.
Say it again.
I love yo mi amor fajita.
Muy mucho.
I know. I totally said that wrong. Somebody will send in what I actually just
what
said.
You were supposed to say.
And anyway, there's a whole lot of things that you're going to want a lot amore of with Grand Peaks Prime Meats. If you go to gpprimemeats.com, look around at their packages and their specials. And whether it's the dogs or the roast or the steak or the chicken or the whatever, pre-cooked crock pot meals. And they also have single servings. If you don't have a big family, so you don't want to get the big, huge crock pot meal, you can get them for individuals, which are just big enough that you could actually share with someone.
It would feed 2 people for dinner.
Yeah.
I know it says single serving, but it would feed 2 people. A lot of people get them. We have been told they get them and they use them for their lunch, and they'll make 2 to 3 lunches out of this single serving.
Yeah.
Yes, kind of like their version of food prep.
Yeah, it's and that's exactly what it is. gpprimemeats.com and tell them that Neil and Julie sent you. Okay, should we go to the phones?
Sure, let's do this.
All right, caller, welcome to the show. How are you?
Good morning.
Hi.
I'm listening to your commentary about the Idaho Falls mayoral race. I'm getting major early 2000 Yankee playoff vibes. This is not, what is there, 585 games in a regular season of baseball? No one watches the first 565. It's the last 20 games we're watching. This is like Jeter and A-Rod and Pettit and the gang in the early 2000s. Suddenly everyone's a Yankees fan. So from a political blood sport perspective, this is great to watch. A lot will be learned from this. I do get the feeling it's getting a little desperate on Lisa's side with these big endorsements. And I don't think a lot of people care about those big endorsements. Not every conservative or Republican is super gung-ho about the governor or Simpson with where they have fallen on certain things. They have not been as far right as people want them to be, perhaps. So I'm also getting very heavy, like 2016 Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump vibes. Like people knew who Donald Trump was, but they didn't really know who he was politically. He was the guy from The Apprentice and a New York City business person. And Hillary was the heavy favorite. They thought, oh, Hillary's got this in the bag. And then that one little basket of deplorables thing. And I kind of feel like we got a little bit of that going on right now. So this is going to be good to watch in hindsight and see how this shakes down from a political strategy standpoint.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think a runoff is always kind of interesting, especially if the 1 and 2 got pretty close percentages in the November race. This is one I don't think I've ever watched a mayoral runoff this closely.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to turn the baseball hats inside out as they do.
Yeah.
Rally cap.
Yep. Here we go.
They do.
All right. Thank you for the call. 208-542-1079. Let's go to the next caller. Welcome to the show.
Hi, this is RT.
Hi, RT.
I've known Lisa for 30 years or so. She's a hardworking gal. She is all in school board, politics, city council. She's been working for us. And from a personal neighborly position, working with her and church positions and so forth, she is a credit to her cause. And she's wonderful to work with unless you're not on her page. Then you're a no account. And I think the problem that I see with Lisa is that she is part of the machine. We owe her a vote of gratitude for the fuck and the glut of apartments in this town because it happened on her watch. She may not have been engineering it, but she sure had a vote. And I think that's going to continue on, stated or not. And I have a problem. I'm a voter, by the way.
Yeah.
Idaho Falls voter. And I have a problem with a bunch of very important, industrious, politically successful people endorsing her who are not voters. They don't have a dog in the fight unless it's to be part of the machine. That's why I am very suspicious of my neighbor, Lisa, who is hardworking and industrious, unless you're not on her page. I've proven that for 30 years.
Okay. Well, RT, thank you. Thank you for the call. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not Lisa's neighbor, so I can't validate what he's saying. But from what I know, like she's very hardworking and she does try to get things done. So.
Oh, I think she does. None of those things can ever be taken.
No.
We're back to my original statement.
Yeah.
There's two great candidates in this race.
I know. Incompetence is not a problem in either one of these.
I don't understand why political analyzation is interpreted as you don't like that person.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
Right.
I will never get it.
I don't either. I don't either.
You chose to enter politics.
Julie, can I ask a question? Because you and I always, the last year or two, I think we've said this more than the first 6 years we've worked together, is there's a club and we're not in it, right?
Oh, fully.
Like
100%.
I think most people feel like there's a club and they're not in it. And when that becomes part of the political dynamic, it works against you. Usually being in the club helps you. I think sometimes it can work against you. When most of the voters feel like there's a club and I'm not in it, I guess, in a sense, Jeff Alldridge is the candidate they're coalescing around, that they're saying he's the guy that is the outsider. He's the guy that is going to bring a fresh perspective to this, because we live in a weird world right now. And I don't know if we live in a house of mirrors or whatever, but the things that used to be your advantage are now your weakness. When you look at Lawrence Wasden learned this a few years back. He was in office for 20 years. I think he had been in that office for 30 years, but he was attorney general for about 20 of it. That worked against him. It clearly worked against Brian Bladd this last election in Pocatello, that after a while, the incumbency becomes a liability rather than an asset. Now, Lisa's not an incumbent mayor, but she's been at the city. She's been on the city council or the school board. So I think she has a similar dynamic as an incumbent does, right? And I think people are just suspicious of that. They're like, if we vote this in, everything's just going to keep going the way it's been going. And I don't know that that's true. I'll back up exactly what you've said. I actually think, and if you listen to former Commissioner Roger Christensen's endorsement, he said she's a change agent. She helped us out with getting things done at the county that we needed to get done. And I think that's, if she wants, that's a message she needs to get out there more if she wants to win this race, because I think she does have that stigma of, I support Imagine IF, and but I think I don't think it's not cut and dried. I think there's certain things that are going to continue the way they've been going, but I also think there are things that can be changed and improved and will change and improve that we don't even know about yet.
So I'm going to address two things you just said. The most recent thing you just said, I absolutely think she should be highlighting those changes that she made. I think that benefits her.
Yeah.
If I was her campaign manager, I would tell her to do that. I think she has chosen, or by default, or I don't know the inner workings, she's surrounded by some people who are potentially so in their echo chamber, it's going to actually harm her. Mm-hmm. Okay. So whatever, by choice, by default, I don't know why that's happening, but there you go. To address there's a club and we're not in it, I purposely put myself on an island. I believe you do the same thing.
Yeah.
Because the reality is, if you run for political office, I'm here to analyze what you do.
Yeah.
Newsflash, that's what you and I get paid for.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why that is a big negative to everybody.
Yeah.
Because I would hope, darn it, if you go over to the state house and work as a state representative or a state senator, you're proud of what you do.
Yeah.
And darn it, I hope if you're on the city council, you're proud of the changes that you have done. And you're proud of the work that you have done. And you don't need to run from that. And I'm not saying Lisa is running from it. I think she should highlight the things she did. And guess what? It's all right to analyze it.
Yeah. I know. That's what I don't get. It's almost...
I do not understand.
And I don't think they've ever said this, so I'm not putting words in anyone's mouth, but I'm going to talk about a perceived mindset, ownership of a particular seat, that they feel like it's ours, the mayorship is ours, and it's ours to bestow upon someone. And I think there is this sort of subconscious mentality that and this can happen in any political office, it happens anytime someone gets used to having, showing up every day, and you have that political power that you, after a while, you just become accustomed to it and you take ownership of it. And we have elections to remind people, nobody owns it except the people do. We lend out our political power with our vote and say, we're going to let you do this for 4 years. Now, if you really screw up, we might recall you, but we're going to give you a shot and let you do this for 4 years. That opportunity exists equally for Jeff Alldridge as it does for Lisa Burtenshaw. There's nobody that's entitled to that. Mm-hmm. There's no tenure that gives you any kind of extra added entitlement to an elective office over anyone else. And for me, I look at that and I think that's that's a tough reality for the club that we're not in. But it's also a feature of beauty to our system that every 4 years, in this case, that it's a clean slate and the voters get a say. Here's who we're making a collective hire, right? That's what we're doing. And there's nobody that has an entitlement to that seat.
I agree with you. No one. I actually believe we should operate in the opposite. Once you have been awarded that seat by the voters, you have a responsibility to those voters.
Yeah.
I also want to point out there are multiple politicians that we have been critical of, completed that political analyzation that I'm talking about, that I still text with on a regular basis because guess what? There's grown-ups in the room.
Yeah.
When we have to behave like analyzing somebody's political choices is a gigantic negative, you've broken the system.
Yeah.
That's not the way it's supposed to work.
No, it's not. No, in fact, in my mind, it's part of our job. So let's go to the phones. 208-542-1079. Hi, caller. How are you?
Hello, is it me?
It's you. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just calling to talk about the Bengals game.
Oh,
you guys are still doing politics.
You know what? This is great. Not comic relief, but yes. Go ahead.
No, we were at the Bengals game yesterday. Heard you over the loudspeakers. Great game. Not yesterday, Saturday. And just wanted to say go Bengals. We had such a fun time all season, and love having you as the voice of the Bengals.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. I love doing that, and I enjoy it. For me, it's like this call is a microcosm of what that job is for me. It's like a little escape to be able to get from the heavy and go do something fun for a few hours, and I love it. But I appreciate your kind words.
We missed you last week. We were glad you were there for the week.
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry, he's on.
Oh, is he okay?
Yeah.
Oh.
Are you there?
Yeah, he's here.
Yeah,
Go on.
sorry, I was just saying we missed you last week. We were glad you're there for the Weber game.
Yeah.
I know how much you love cheering on the Bengals against Weber. So
yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And you take care. 208-542-1070.
Hey.
I will say, though, my fill-in Chris did a good job.
Good.
From all reports, he did well.
Great.
All right, let's go to the next caller. Welcome to the show, caller. How are you?
Splendid.
Good.
Hey,
What's
I
up?
just want to say, a lot of times in these political conversations, we're looking for a lot of negative things. And we'll find them if that's what we're looking for. But I think we need to start looking more at what each of these people have done that's been positive. And they need to start listing more of those things and stand behind it. And if we get critical of it, I think Julie's right. There's grown-ups in the room. Just deal with it. I mean, people are going to be critical of one another all the time. I also want to say about announcing for the Bengals. My dad announced for my football team in high school for 2 years.
Yeah.
I don't think he called a single touchdown or said anything about the game going on. He was teasing people in the stands the whole time and demanding people bring him food. So I think you're onto something here.
I love that.
And I scored a lot of touchdowns, but I never heard, touchdown for this kid or whatever. It was like, hey, somebody's got some prime rib over there. Let's bring it to the announcer stand. So.
Bring up the nachos.
Exactly. So I think you're entitled to that since we're talking about, entitlement to political seats or something. But
Yeah.
You guys have a good day.
All right. Thank you. You also. 208-542-1079. All right. Next caller, go ahead.
Hi, I'm just calling about that thing that Donald Trump said he was going to do with giving out all Americans money to buy health insurance with.
Yeah.
It reminds me of student loans and what has happened to tuition when the government gives as much money as people want to buy college education with. What happens to tuition? The colleges know they can just keep charging higher and higher prices. It's gone through the roof. And it's just going to continue this in the same way, the ever-escalating prices that insurance companies can charge. And it won't be limited because when it's not enough that the government is giving out, then there will be just a push and cry to increase the amount that's given to Americans. We're going to see health insurance go through the roof or continue through the roof, through the stratosphere, I should say. And the insurance companies are going to love it.
Can I ask you not a trick question, but a tough question?
Yeah.
What if it is the only political route to undoing Obamacare? And it may be.
It's like choosing between being stabbed or being shot. I don't know.
Well,
neither is a good choice.
Well, no, neither is a good choice unless...
Probably better than Obamacare, but in a sense that if you're stabbed, maybe you have a better chance of being healed at the ER than if you're shot. I don't know.
Yeah. It's kind of a grim and gruesome comparison here. But I will say, I think Trump is the negotiator here. And Trump knows if I start out and my initial negotiating point is exactly what I want, and I know that's a non-starter for every Democrat and probably a good chunk of the Republicans, that's a terrible way to start a negotiation. So I think this is Donald Trump starting the conversation, getting things moving, and if it topples Obamacare, even though you might see the same inflationary forces that you just talked about, it's a much more adjustable system than what Obamacare is. Right now, Obamacare is a mandate. You have to do it. But if Trump does it right, he might be able to set it up that whatever replaces Obamacare, you could actually ramp down off of that and incrementally get ourselves back to a better situation when it comes to medical.
I hope so. The only solution is to get the government less involved, not more involved. But yeah. I just want to throw that out there because it may sound to a lot of people like, wow, what a great idea. It's a simple, logical solution. But they're probably not thinking about that inflationary pressure it'll have like it has with college tuition.
Probably not. Probably not. But I'll go back to the point I started with. If it is your only viable pathway to undo Obamacare.
It's better than Obamacare.
Yeah, for sure.
Still bad.
But you go from
lesser of two evils.
From horrific down to terrible. So, yeah.
All
right. Thank you for the call. 208-542-1079.
Go Bengals.
Yeah. It's like going from being a Weber State fan to a Dallas Cowboys fan. Like, being a Weber State.
Did the Cowboys win this weekend?
I have no idea. But I know Weber State lost.
And I know the Chiefs lost.
Yes.
So two really important things happened.
I know we're going to... Look, I love you Dallas Cowboys fans. I really do. Like all the people I know that are Dallas Cowboys fans, I really like them. I do.
I do too.
I cannot say the same for Weber State fans. I'm trying to think of one Weber State fan that I'd want to have lunch with.
Oh, I have one.
You have one?
I have one, yeah.
Do you just have to say that?
No.
Okay.
There are good people everywhere, Neil Larson.
Not Weber State fans. Right. Should we take a break?
Sure.
All right, 9:29 on News Talk 1079. We'll be back. Oh, boy.
Oh, the Cowboys play tonight. Monday Night Football.
Okay. I know we're going to hear from Mike.
Mm-hmm. Just leave it to a baby entering into my world, and then I forget everything else because there was no time for anything else except baby and work.
I mean, she sounds like a nice person.
She's a really nice person.
It's just sad that she's put her eternal salvation in jeopardy by being a Weber State fan.
Big Mike says, that's cold, Neil Larson. That's cold.
I love you, Mike. I knew I'd hear from Mike. I actually like, I mean, I don't hate the Dallas Cowboys. The memes are funny. So
they are funny. Oh, yay. Somebody on the text line said, congratulations, Julie. We're going to welcome a new grandson in 2 weeks. Number 8 for them.
Oh, that's fun.
Lovely. Oh, lovely. All the things that go along with it. All of the love, all of the I'm not adequate enough, all of the I am really tired.
Yeah.
All of it. Having a family. It's a crazy thing. I liked the call. The call that said, let's get back to paying attention to the good things that they have to supply and talking about that. And I think the candidates can do that. They need to distance themselves from their surrogates.
Yeah. And I like the sentiment, but I do think you have to examine the weaknesses of each side. I think you have to.
Oh, I think it's
the vulnerabilities,
fine, But the way that it's being done online is out of control.
Yeah.
And I would say this as well. This is going to sound really judgy, and take it for what it's worth. Even if you're the rah-rah person, even if you're the, I love Jeff, I want him, or vote Jeff, or Lisa Burtenshaw for Idaho Falls all the way, or whomever you are. If you're the rah-rah person and you get on a post that's filled with a ton of negativity by the person who originated the post, you still going on and being the rah-rah person is tacitly supporting the negativity.
Yeah, agreed.
And that sounds super judgy, but that's where we're at in this race.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to say it. Like, that's the reality.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean about the surrogates. Like, I don't know. I'm in no way in any position with the work that I do to go on and denigrate somebody else for the life work that they chose.
Yeah.
Yet that's happening all over the place.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm in no way in that same position to go in and elevate the life's work of what somebody chose to raise a family.
Yeah.
You either have the skill set or you don't have the skill set.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here to decide one is better than the other as far as occupation choices.
Yeah.
Or,
I know.
we put lawyers into these positions all the time.
Yeah.
Not my favorite occupation out there.
No. Did you say they texted back?
Oh,
You know what? I won't do CNS cares here. Do you have a Timberline?
I should.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're back. The text line and our callers went long in the first... Sorry. In the first segment.
Their fault?
Yeah, it's their fault. They wouldn't stop talking. So we are going to have to take another bottom of the hour break here. Usually I blame Julie, but that joke's old.
It's okay. You can blame me. Look,
No.
I'm going to take up some time right now. So do you want me to do that?
Sure, go ahead. Take some time.
All right. Let's talk about Timberline Home for just a minute and their new additions to their wellness line of furniture. This is exactly what you need for relaxation. And clearly there's a whole bunch of us in Idaho Falls who need it because we've got a lot of fighting going on that's really not necessary. So I recommend the wellness line of products at Timberline Home. This includes 3 new Infinity massage chairs and the one and only Z-Cliner. You've heard me talk about it over and over again. That's the recliner meant to be slept in. The Z-Cliner is made, or it has multiple heat, massage, and zero gravity recline options. This helps with circulation, which a lot of us need, especially as we age. And the Z-Cliner also has science-backed nanobionic fabric that speeds blood flow up to 30%, which helps in decreasing inflammation throughout the body, a big problem, especially with long COVID. So if you're struggling with that, you might want to check out the Z-Cliner. And then there's also the Zofa. That's the companion to the Z-Cliner, except it's made for 2 people instead of 1. You're going to find lots of lift chairs in stock at Timberline Home as well. They range in size from petite to a capacity of 500 pounds, which is so important. It needs to fit your body, and they're actually in stock and ready for delivery. So that could be something you could get today. Visit Timberline Home at 711 East Anderson in Idaho Falls. You can check out all of their wellness furniture options. Again, that's 711 East Anderson in Idaho Falls.
So I searched. The only Kenny G we have in our music library is Christmas Kenny G.
Oh, shoot. Well, that's okay. It's almost appropriate.
It is. I mean, I think I think we can start
You bet.
little bit here and there. I mean, I still play 4th of July music now and then.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't all that relaxing, though.
It doesn't feel very relaxing, but hopefully makes us happier.
I think we need like a solo sax for it to be really relaxing. This orchestral thing
changes the whole thing.
Yeah, that's not yoga meditation Kenny G. So I'll find some better Kenny G.
Okay.
Coming up. All right, 9:37. We'll be back on News Talk 107.9 after the news break. Okay.
Did we ever call ourselves a non-biased show?
No. Okay. Let me, I'm trying, because I read that, and here's my thought on that. We don't want to tip the scales and overtly campaign for one side, right?
Absolutely not.
No, we don't. And I think in local elections, we don't. But that doesn't mean we are agnostic or neutral either. And when we had Jeff in here, we asked him some hard questions. Like we did, but they were all about policy and about governing the city. It wasn't about Do you think Mormons are Christian? It wasn't that kind of a hard question, which was a gut punch, below the belt. So I think whoever's seeking that office, you have to give them. But that doesn't mean I feel like we've been what is the expectation here?
I don't know. I'm going to say back, have you listened to every hour of the show day after day?
Yeah. Well, yeah. No. This is the hardest thing about local elections. And we're not going to pretend things aren't happening. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like whoever's running Lisa's campaign, there have been some significant missteps. I don't think I would have gone out and solicited big. I mean, it underscores that there's a club and we're not in it. Dynamic.
Yeah.
I'd love to have heard the conversation with Governor Little about an endorsement, because here's the problem with that. Look over the horizon just a little bit. It's very, very possible Jeff Alldridge wins this race, and the governor will have a mayor of one of Idaho's larger cities that he endorsed against. It kind of creates an interesting dynamic with the mayor's office. Now, if I'm here's what's weird to me, and I think that Trump does this: endorse likely winners so that you look like you're a kingmaker. Trump does that.
Yes.
At this point, given the results of the November race, I don't think Lisa's a likely winner. I think she can win. I would have called her a likely winner a month ago, maybe a month and a half, maybe 5 or 6 weeks ago. But I was surprised that Jeff got more votes than her. I'll be honest with you. I
was shocked.
I wasn't shocked that it's a runoff, but I was shocked that Jeff outpaced her in terms of the votes. So I don't understand what benefit there was to Governor Little in making the endorsement.
I think it's weird. Okay, I'll just say this. I said this to you off air. I think it's weird that Governor Little endorsed her and they don't even have a picture together.
Yeah.
How many pictures do I have with Governor Little?
We have a bunch.
You're not running in his circle.
Yeah.
That's weird to me.
Yeah.
You don't have
why? It's just weird.
Yeah. So, sure, whatever. You know my feeling on endorsements. I don't think they're that big of a deal. I think they're probably a big deal to some people. I really do. Yeah. They're just not to me, because I'm a far more independent thinker.
Yeah.
And I'm not looking to mirror whatever Governor Little says I should do.
Right.
There's not a single pundit in the Republican Party that I mirror exactly 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I like Ben Shapiro. Guess what? About 20% of what he says I think is crap.
Yep. Right. I know.
I just don't give a lot of weight to endorsements. They don't matter to me.
Mm-mm. I think they used to matter more. You know why? Because I think we used to respect authority a lot more than we do now.
Yeah.
And now we're more skeptical of authority, which can be good and bad. Look, I got raked over the coals last week because I said, were you here the day that I said it's a privilege to be able to talk with Mike Simpson?
No, but I saw that on the text line, and I'm like...
it is a privilege to talk with our congressional delegation.
Okay, can I also bring that up too? For the fact that I am having a Facebook or a text line disagreement with someone right now whom I actually really like.
Yeah.
We gotta figure our crap out, because we couldn't have been more critical of Congressman Simpson about his dam proposal.
Yeah.
We were so harsh on that, man.
Oh, Governor Little. We left a job because we disagreed with his shutdown policy.
Come on, you guys, grow up.
Yeah. And we're on fine terms now.
We're fine. You can have these conversations.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Let's play with this when we get back.
Okay.
Because I think there's a fun discussion to be had.
Okay.
9:44 on News Talk 1079. Neil Larson and Julie Mason. Julie, I want to take a pause here for just a moment, because I think this is an important. I don't know if it may be a paradigm shift for some people, but I think it's an important discussion to have, because obviously people's emotions are pretty escalated
Clearly
right now.
Mm-hmm.
Can we make an agreement right now? and maybe keep this agreement in the back of our minds moving forward, that when December 3rd rolls around, whoever ends up being victorious in whatever race, this could apply to Pocatello, it could apply to Idaho Falls. We also have a runoff in a city council race, too, that's getting no attention because the mayoral thing's so big. That we'll support whoever ends up winning, and that we can go back to being friends. That we're fighting our best battle right now, and I don't feel like we're campaigning for either side. We are looking at the strengths and weaknesses of each side, right? Mm-hmm. But we don't have to pretend the score is tied. Is that fair?
Oh, I think that's very fair, and I bet it changes every day.
And we're clearly irritating some people in our audience that wants Lisa to win and is pro-Lisa. And I guess I would say, because they view the score's not equal, okay? Jeff won the plurality vote. I feel like his campaign has been operating very crisply and hitting all the right notes. Not all the right notes, but most of them. And I feel like there's a more of a, well, what you said it best. What Lisa's trying to do isn't matching with what her surrogates are trying to do.
Right.
And there's only 2 weeks and a day to get that figured out and to make up for it. Either way it turns out, can we agree that we will support whoever wins the mayor's race?
I don't even have to think twice about that.
You don't, but I'm talking to the whole audience.
Yeah,
here.
I don't understand this. I'm really baffled by the way the conversation has gone today, because we started out the 6 o'clock hour saying, why can't we get back to the way the race was being run a month and a half ago?
Yeah.
There was a shift with the religion question, and that opened the barn doors, and man, did the vultures fly out of the rafters of the attic.
Yeah.
And they went after everybody. And I believe really great people are getting caught up in this.
Yeah.
I hope they can take a breath.
Yeah, I do too, because I don't know if we're cutting into the muscle yet, because it's been vigorous. It's been really spirited. But I think we're getting close to that point where there might be some injury if we keep going down this path. And that's what I don't want. I want everyone to be able to hug each other after the game's over and say that was a good game.
I actually think the two candidates can.
I think they will. And I think they'll say this was a hard-fought battle. It was a great contest, and we will see you again next time.
Yeah.
And I hope the community can do that. I really do. I think we can. But it's feeling like maybe the temperature's a little hot right now.
I think the temperature's pretty hot, especially on social media. I'm excited for the week of Thanksgiving. I hope that's a break for everybody, and everybody can actually just go enjoy their families for a minute. The race is still going to be here.
Yeah, it is.
It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's true. We're going to wake up that Monday morning going, oh, we got another week. Let's go to the phones. Hi, caller. How are you?
Good morning, guys. Hey, I hate to spoil all of the conversation about politics that you just rolled back into. I was gonna bore you with a trip down memory lane of ISU beating Weber State historically in football.
Oh, please do it. We're open to that.
This was, I'm a decade older than you, Neil, so I know you weren't around to see it. But in 1981, the year that ISU won the national championship, the last game of the season was against Weber State in the Mini Dome. And we had the biggest crowd the Mini Dome's ever seen.
You know what? Can I stop you right there? I was in the dome sitting next to my dad when that happened, and I was 8 years old.
You were there.
I was there, yes.
How strong are your memories?
Pretty strong. I just remember it being total pandemonium when we won.
It was an incredible layout. It was ISU and Boise State, both the 6-1 records in the Big Sky. It was Boise State a year prior in 80 had won the national championship. Boise State and ISU were tied for the Big Sky title, with ISU holding the tiebreaker, having beaten Boise State early in the season. And Weber State had the opportunity of being the spoiler and letting Boise State win the Big Sky Conference. It was a 3 overtime game, and ISU won with a field goal in the third overtime. It was 33-30 was the final score, and ISU went on to win the national title. But the real close would have been the greatest finale of the season there could be. We had Boise State in one semifinal, ISU in the other semifinal, and Boise State lost to Eastern Kentucky, who they defeated the year before for the title.
Yeah.
If Boise State had defeated Eastern Kentucky, we would have had ISU versus Boise State in the national title game.
Wow.
So we came one game away from an all-Idaho national championship game.
Yeah. That's a great – yeah.
It was the greatest. It was the greatest time for ISU football. The pandemonium in Pocatello for ISU was just not even measurable at that time. It was incredibly exciting.
Yeah, it was, and I remember that. I also remember, the national championship game was not in Pocatello, but I remember listening to it on the radio. Yep. And I had like a Bengals jersey, and it might have been my older brother's Aberdeen Tigers football jersey, but I would stuff socks in the shoulders to make them look like shoulder pads.
Yeah, that game was in Wichita Falls, Texas. The first two playoff games ISU hosted in the mini dome because ISU was ranked number 2 in the nation at that time. Eastern Kentucky number 1, and ISU blew out their 2 opponents in the quarter and semifinals in the dome, and then went to Texas and defeated Eastern Kentucky, the same team that Boise had beaten in the title game the year before. So Eastern Kentucky got 2 years in a row of getting thumped by Idaho schools for 2 years in a row of national championships coming out of the Big Sky Conference.
Yeah. The great walk down memory lane. Thank you for that.
The greatest point of that was beating Weber State in the dome to secure the Big Sky Conference championship, and then from there it was just a glide path to the title.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Have a good day.
And go Bengals. I appreciate that.
I'm so glad that you won that game. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good things.
It was a good memory. And I just remember sitting in the dome. Like I said, my dad took me to that game, and you looked around the arena, and that's back when I had all the multicolored seats, and there wasn't a single empty seat. They were totally full. So, all right, we'll be back after this, 9:53. So one thing I would add to that, that's the moment I always go back to, that if you would have told me that I was going to be the big voice in the arena when I was that little, I would have said, no way, you're crazy. Anyway, it's kind of I don't know, it's sort of part of your,
right.
And that was, my dad probably took me to 1 or 2 football games a year, and he was a big ISU fan. I remember one year a couple years actually, Dad went back to Moscow. We moved to Moscow so Dad could get his engineering degree, and he needed a couple years of college to do it. And I remember we went to a game in the Kibbe Dome, and Dad was a student at the U of I, but his heart was an ISU Bengal. But his tickets were in the Vandals section. And I remember sitting there with my dad, and he was cheering when the Bengals did great, and it was a little uncomfortable because all the Vandals, I think it was fine, they were great with it, but it was
Why have I never thought to ask you this question?
Yeah.
Could he not get his engineering degree in Pocatello?
Not chemical engineering.
Oh, okay.
So there might have been an engineering, I don't know,
like electrical or whatever.
Mechanical or something. But he was getting his Chem-E degree. So
okay,
that's what, that's the college you went to. So
I mean, we've talked about that so many times, but I've never thought, why did they go there?
He was 42 years old, and 2 kids left at home, Amy and me. My next older brother, living brother, had just graduated from high school. And so we packed up and moved to Moscow for 2 years.
Little bit of an adventure.
It was.
I love this because I'm an advocate for change.
Yeah.
It's never too late to pivot.
No.
Ever.
No, it's not.
Ever.
It's not. I'm trying out for the NFL next week.
Well, since they're now kicking 60 to 70-yard field
what
goals.
You're about to say next, no, don't say it.
I don't know if your legs got it.
It's never too late to pivot. A friend told me that one time. Yeah. 55.
Okay, Facebook, we don't get to stay on today because we're going to deliver more baskets of blessings. Arrival of grandbaby 3 interrupted some things. And so Alex and Neil went and delivered a whole bunch of the baskets on Friday without me. And there is a few more baskets to deliver. And so today was the day we needed to get that done. So we're getting off of social media and going and doing good. I'm sorry. Love us anyway.
Yeah.
It is for a good reason.
It is for a good reason. Very good. Okay, so I will do CNS Cares real quick.
You probably couldn't find Facebook Live, Stephanie, because I started it late. I've been having a back and forth text conversation with somebody that I actually have really great respect for. And she's super frustrated with our analysis of the race. So I've been trying to cool the waters.
Yeah. Good. Is there another one since she texted?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, hold on. All right, 9:58 on News Talk 107.9. If you're a former nuclear worker here in Idaho, as we head into the holidays, it's time many of us start thinking more about our health and about taking care of the people we love. And if you worked at the Idaho National Lab, you could qualify for up to $4,000 in compensation and no-cost health care benefits through a federal program called EOPA. It stands for Energy Employees Occupational Illness Compensation Program Act. It was created to help energy workers who become ill from exposure to things like radiation, asbestos, or beryllium, and that's where CNS Cares comes in. They're local, they know the program inside and out, and they can take you by the hand and guide you through the whole thing. So don't wait until the new year. Find out what benefits you've earned today. Call CNS Cares and let them help you make this holiday season one focused on health, comfort, and peace of mind. Their number, 208-271-5018. That's 271-5018. And we'll see you all tomorrow.